On this week's episode of the Draft and Stash, we break down the Grizzlies after 3 weeks, and we get into 3 notable stories around the NBA. I'm Andrew, and joining me as always is Frank's the number guy.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. How are we feeling after 3 weeks, Frank?
Not bad, man. Not bad, man. The season is rolling right along. I miss Ja Morant more than ever. And, I've got a little equipment upgrade here, so that's nice. But how are you feeling?
I feel like we're 2-6 now, or right? I think that's right. Because we just lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I also apologize, guys, if my head keeps to going away. I'm wearing earphones this time, so half my head's gonna be gone. Sorry, it looks kind of funky. I honestly, this is the only game that I think we should have won that we haven't won. Like I fully am okay with us losing to the Lakers twice when LeBron James had to go beast mode both games against us till he can beat us without 3 starters. And then we beat the Hornets, beat the Nets, lost to the Spurs, which we always lose to. The Hawks game was kind of annoying, but they've been playing well, so it's not that embarrassing.
Looking good. Yeah.
This is the first real game that kind of hurts a little bit. But if you are a pro tank person, I'm sure you are excited. I am not specifically a tank guy. I am fine with wins or losses. I prefer wins, but I see the bigger picture that having to pick in the top 10 of this draft is very valuable. So I'm okay with that. But I am going to start something new for this week, and that is the Jazz pick alert. The Jazz are now 4-4. We get that pick. I think if it lands between 6 to 14 or something, right? So we need them to suck, but not too bad, and we need them to be just out of the playoffs, and then we get 2 lottery picks this year.
They need to fall in a very specific window of neither being good nor bad.
Yeah, we're right around 38 wins or so probably. I think we get that pick. The NBA is still starting out this year, but that doesn't mean that there aren't big news stories happening around the league. This is the Week 3 3-pointer.
Are you kidding me?
These are 3 early points of interest around the league. Point number 1, the New York Knicks are 5-3 and off to one of their best starts in many years. RJ Barrett looks to be less of a bust this year as he is now averaging over 17 a game, while Julius Randle looks all NBA. Are the Knicks real, or can we expect some regression, Frank?
I think the Knicks are real, at least in the Eastern Conference. I think they have the pieces they need to succeed. A lot of those pieces look a lot better than people anticipated coming into the season. One of those being Julius Randle. The dudes look like an absolute monster so far.
I've always liked Julius Randle. So,
yeah, he's a solid player, solid dude.
He's literally always reminded me of a baby Zach Randolph. And, he goes up there and he'll give you 20 and 10 every night, which is what Zach did. And he was never respected his entire career. So I fully expect the same out of Julius Randle. When the Lakers got him in the top 10, I thought that was a great steal. But they didn't, I guess, feel as though he was a piece of their future, along with him and D'Angelo Russell, and they got shipped out basically.
But RJ Barrett, I'm still kind of low on RJ Barrett.
I am too.
He's not a bust. I don't think he's going to be considered a bust. But when you look at how high he got drafted and the expectations he had coming, or the expectations that were set on him coming into the league, he doesn't quite look like that guy. I'm not saying his ceiling, he won't reach that point at some point, but right now he's just not scoring the ball in ways that are sustainable. The nights when he scores 20 points, he's getting just infinite touches in the paint. So I don't know. I'm a little low on RJ Barrett. Julius Randle, he's looked great. Some of their other players have looked great. Mitchell Robinson is holding down the
he looks good
for them.
Alex
is scoring a ton. So
their rookie looked really good, and of course he's hurt, but because that's just how things work. Apparently, is
who's that? Obi Toppin?
Yeah, Toppin, whoever. Yeah, he looked okay early. I like when the Knicks are good because it makes the league look better. If that makes sense. To me, it's always a better fit for everybody worldwide when your major franchises are actually good. So when the Lakers and Knicks are both really good, it's awesome. When Boston's good, it's great. It's like football. when the Bears are really good, it's really great. The Niners, the Giants. It's just weird when like the teams like the Raptors are like really good. You're like, like your casual fan's not going to give a shit about that. So I like that the Knicks are finally turning the corner. I still don't think any big star will ever go there. Most people hate Dolan, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think that might take an ownership change, a major change of culture there.
Yeah.
But, they've got some young talent. It looks like they're building the team the right way, sort of from the ground up. So, I think the future's looking good for them and good for their fans. It's been pretty dark for the Knicks fan base for a good 10 plus years now.
It's funny to watch them on Twitter be like, oh, well, like you guys can't get on the bandwagon now. It's like, come on, guys. Like you're 5-3, calm it down. Point number 2. John Wall looks like the rust is off as he is currently averaging 23, 5-5 a game with a PER of almost 20. Is John Wall officially back?
I think he is. I think he has looked
very
much
positive
healthier. What was that?
I said you are very positive.
Yeah, you know what? That's sort of my mode. Everything's looking down for
Memphis. Yeah.
Not really down. Not everything's looking down. We'll get Ja back soon. But it's hard seeing these losses pile up and our best players are on the bench. But optimism is my mode right now. I think he has a chance to finish this way. He hasn't been healthy for 2 years now. We haven't seen him on the basketball court for 2 years now. When he in 2017, 2018, the last season when he was fully healthy, I believe that was it. He looked like an absolute stud. The guy is an absolute stud. He just needed to get his body right, and it looks like he did that. So, I think the Rockets, that trade,
It's weird because we talked about that the Russ going to the Wizards was his home run, and they've gotten out the gate really slow. Even though Russ is averaging a triple double,
he's doing Russ things. Yeah,
his inefficiencies are pretty bad. Bradley Beal scored 62 the other night, and they lost or something. It's just like it's really awful. But yeah, John Wall going to the Rockets, he's looked good, and him, Christian Wood, and James Harden look like they might be okay, but at best, that's probably like a 500 team right now. I just don't think that they hit hard enough right now, and it's just so brutal in the West.
Yeah, I think when we were talking about that trade, obviously we hadn't seen John Wall play. The big question was his injuries, his health. So now that it looks like he's got that baseline of health, that trade does look a lot better for the Rockets. And I think you're right. John Wall, Christian Wood, and Harden, that's a good core, but I don't think that's doing much more than the Rockets have done in the past few seasons. And I do think ultimately Harden gets dealt this season at some point. I really do think that.
Yeah, I think I hope that John Wall is pacing himself and he does not go out of gas in the first 20 games.
Yeah.
Point number 3, Markelle Fultz recently tore his ACL, ending his season. Can we officially label Fultz as a bust, or is this just a small setback?
I'm not ready to label him a bust quite yet. I know he has had
positivity number 3 there.
Yeah, we're 3 for 3 on that. But he's still super young, and I don't want to keep harping on the young point, but he's got plenty of time to get his career back on the right track. The ACL is a big setback, but looking at the positives, he was having a great start to the season. His stats were up across the board. He was leading the Magic's offense with sort of a new level of understanding, kind of similar to what we're seeing out of Ja this season, or what we were seeing out of Ja before he also went down. So I think that's a big bummer for the Magic. I mean, obviously, but I kind of was enjoying watching Fultz's development as well. So to see him go down, I was a little bummed. I do ultimately think that he'll be fine. But, it's going to be a long road coming back from an ACL injury. We'll have to see.
That Magic team is always weird. They always look like they don't have any talent, and then they always end up at like the 8th seed somehow. Like, it's just Vucevic is just, it's just always, turning along, doing things. Terrence Ross has been good there for the last 4 seasons or so.
Yeah, they're quietly good. They have a lot of those.
Weird, yeah. Players. But they don't have they also lost Isaac and now Fultz. You don't know where they're going to end up this year, but I think it would be in their best interest to not make the playoffs. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And as always, if you want to stay up to date on the Grizz and the NBA, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Next week, we'll be back with our season predictions on the Grizz, seasonal award winners, and who we think will win it all. So until next time, let's go Grizz.
Thanks, everybody.